Hey, it is Tebs Talks, the premier useless podcast. My name is Jason Tebs. I am your host. As always, I don't know why I said it different this time, but we're rolling with it. Today is a special day, for me at least, and that is because I am getting my second round of the COVID vaccine later on today. I mean, I don't know if it's like something to celebrate. Like it's a vaccine. I've gotten many a vaccine in my days, but the reason why I'm excited for this one is it's just like one step closer to just getting back to a quote unquote more normal life. Getting back to where businesses can be open. I don't have to worry about XYZ. I'm going to be protected. I'm going to help protect other people. Again, I'm still wearing my mask when I'm going out in public, even though Utah has dropped the mask mandate. I'm still wearing my mask when I go places like, Smith's still has, as a business, the mandate to wear masks. Now, I walk in and there are plenty of people not wearing their masks, and nobody's really enforcing it at my local Smith's, but I'm still wearing my mask. Like, I still want to make sure that I'm trying to protect other people, even though after this, I will be immune and immortal for the rest of my days. I shall not fall to something so trivial as COVID-19. Just kidding. I got very lucky to, my understanding at least, I never got COVID. But I wouldn't be surprised if, actually I did get COVID at some point, because a lot of people I know got COVID. But to my understanding, I never got COVID. My wife never got COVID. My child never got COVID. My parents never got it. My sister and her family never got it. Nobody from my wife's family got it that we know of. Actually, I think my brother-in-law got it. He was living in Provo at the time. So, as for me and my house, pretty COVID-free that we know of. Now, my son and I did get crazy sick pretty much all through March. So that was fun. But we've since recovered on that. And I'm getting my second round of microchipping. So things I am excited for after being injected with my second microchip. First and foremost, open mouth kissing people again. I miss the days when you can go to an event and just open mouth kiss people. I just miss the days where, random strangers, when you first meet them, the polite thing to do was open mouth kissing. Like, I've been feeling so rude for the last year, where whenever I meet somebody, I'm not allowed to open mouth kiss them. All I've been able to do is stroke their face with the back of my hand. So very, very happy that we can go back to just open mouth kissing random strangers when we meet them. Because it's the polite thing to do, As I always say, give her a kiss on the mouth just to be polite. Now, that joke out of context sounds very not kosher, shall we say. Sounds very impolite. Sounds sort of assaulty. But in context, a hilarious joke. Give her a kiss on the mouth just to be polite. No, but I miss being able to go to more social functions, concerts, movies, other things like that. I'm not excited for the inevitable day where they give us the call to go back into the office for work. I very much enjoy working from home. I want to continue to work from home. And hey, we have a lot of people in my company now that are working remotely. California, New York, Georgia, Tennessee. If I could stay remote, make a little more money, and adios down to Henderson, Nevada, I might. But I'm getting my second round of the vaccine. My wife still needs to schedule her times. She just hasn't found a time where she's like, yeah, I have the free time. I can get out there. I can go do it. And a lot of other people I know either have their first or second round or have their first round scheduled. And we're getting vaccinated. We're trying to be good social citizens and make sure that we can, as a herd, be more immune, better equipped to handle COVID-19. Now, I haven't paid a whole ton of attention to COVID-related news. Just gotten to a point where I'm like, I'm getting vaccinated. Most definitely. I don't have the time or energy to pay attention to XYZ. But as I scroll through YouTube, as I scroll through Twitter, as I scroll through Reddit, apparently there are new strains of the virus that are stronger, better, working harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger more than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Super viruses. It's like when you spray for bugs and then the bugs that survive create stronger bugs that can better combat against pesticides. That's what we're dealing with. New strains of the COVID-19 virus. If that's true, that super sucks. Will my vaccine that I am completing today combat the mega strain? I don't know. I'm hoping that we can, as a society, get on top of getting vaccinated so these new strains aren't mutating and not taking over the world again. So, headlines have mentioned stronger strains of the COVID-19 virus. I don't know where that is. I don't know to what degree it's affecting people. Just seeing headlines and I'm like, well, shoot. Like, we can't keep doing this. You know that meme where it's like, he can't keep getting away with this? That's what I think about with COVID-19. It can't keep getting away with this. We got an email at work. Not an email. Let me retract that. We got a chat at work from my department's vice president, from the customer success vice president. He chatted us and he was like, look, the United States is open. States are open. People are getting vaccinated. Dine-in is open pretty much everywhere. We are no longer putting accounts on pause. Because what we've been doing over COVID for a lot of accounts is saying, hey, if you're closed, we'll just pause your subscription so they don't have to pay while they're closed. And then once they open again, we just resume billing. They can resume using the product. And that's what we've been doing. And, initially we were all like, oh, 2 weeks in and out, let's go. And then it was like 2 months in and out, let's go. And then it was like, hopefully in October. And then hopefully in January. And then hopefully in March. And now it's just to the point where progress has been made well enough. Cases are going down as immunizations are going up. We're slowly getting a handle on this. So the VP was like, hey, we are no longer approving accounts to be paused due to COVID-related issues. Like, everything to our knowledge and the research we've done should be able to open up now. Cool. He said minus like specific places. I think New Zealand still has a pretty hard shutdown. Different sections of Canada have super hard shutdowns. The UK is off and on how hard the shutdown is. So he's like, look, anything that's going to be a pause, we really have to look into it, and we have to like make sure that whatever it is actually is a legitimate shutdown. And I get it. Like, my company is a business. It needs to make money too. Like, you can't just sit there, offer a service, and just be like, you don't need to pay us. You don't need to pay us. Eventually, it needs to collect on money. I need a paycheck. I need to get paid, So the funny thing was, he sent that chat, and then like minutes later, I got an email from a customer. They're like, hey, we're in Ontario, Canada, and we're still crazy shut down. Can we extend our pause? I was like, oh, sweet, great, awesome. So I talked to my department head, and I was like, hey, what do you suggest in this situation? Anyway, that's getting resolved. It's crazy that so many industries just got kind of flipped on their head. And I live in Utah. Like, Utah, sure, we had a shutdown, quote unquote, but it's like things have been open for a long time. I mean, I went to a Buffalo Wild Wings with some friends, and obviously they had, like, the Buffalo Wild Wings had very limited seating, but it was a while ago I did that. Like September, I think, when I went to Buffalo Wild Wings with two friends. We were just catching up. We had made sure we all got COVID tested before we went. None of us had it. So we were as Utah, just open I feel like not a whole ton of stuff got shut down. Now, obviously, like, I haven't been to a movie theater in a long while. I haven't been to, like, a family entertainment place in a long time. But it's like, I've hit up pick up to go orders. I've hit up delivery. You know, I've sat in a restaurant or two. I had a close group of friends where we would just like get together, but we were always very forthright of, hey, I'm feeling a little sick. I'm not going. Like, I'm getting tested. We were all very upfront with each other. A lot of them did get COVID. So after that, they're like, well, I've already had it. So I think I'm good to like hang out with other people that have already had it, which is weird because it's like my friend group, it seemed like almost a 50-50 split of people that got it and didn't. And even so, like a husband and wife, one of them would get it, but the other one wouldn't, to our knowledge. It was weird. I want this all to be done. I'm so sick of it. Like, I'm tired of talking about COVID. I'm tired of COVID being a discussion at my work. I'm tired of this headline and that headline. I'm tired of this news and that news. I'm tired of people blaming other people. I'm tired of, oh, I'm going to get the vaccine. What vaccine are you getting? Oh, I'm not going to get the vaccine. Which, if you're not getting the vaccine, you're so stupid. Just, okay. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to, like, side tangent so hard and, like, rant for probably way longer than I should about a certain thing. Okay, I'm back. So, I'm going to rant for a second. And this is me just getting on my soapbox, just being, like, a little emotional. I understand that it's not going to come off as, we'll say, graceful in any sense of the imagination. I will throw out a caution that my language might get more colorful than people are used to. I'll drop the occasional swear word on this podcast. I will try to refrain from using the actual words that I want to use in this situation. But here we go. And I've talked about it before, but at this stage, it's really grinding my gears. Like, it's really pissing me off. Way back when, the CDC was like, hey, we don't know if masks are going to help. Like, we don't think they're going to help for the COVID-19. More research were done, and they're like, hey, actually, masks are a very simple way to greatly reduce your risk of exposure for yourself and those around you. And people still decided, nope, I'm not going to do that. People had the gall and the gumption to just say, F you to the rest of the world. I'm going to put myself first and refrain from doing a simple task like putting on a mask. They came up with bullshit excuses. They came up with bullshit theories. And they're like, hey, I can't wear a mask. It's a medical condition. They came up with bullshit credentials that a bullshit doctor that they made up gave them as to why they can't wear a mask. Oh, I have a medical condition. I can't wear a mask. Oh, I have, this right as an American. It's my right not to wear a mask. I'm punching my freaking palm right there because it pisses me off. It is not a hard task to just put a small piece of finely woven medical cloth over your face. And my thing is like, hey, let's say masks didn't do a damn thing, even though they do. Let's say masks didn't do a damn thing. At the very least, you can outwardly say to society, if you put that mask on, it outwardly says to society, hey, I'm trying to be a good citizen and be in good social standing with all of you and just make sure that we're all okay. This is my visual representation that I actually care about you. However, there were so many people that it's so blatant that they are self-centered assholes where they go out in public without a mask on, showing that they care about themselves so much more than literally anybody else on the planet. There are people, like, if I was in a position where I was making high-value deals with people, that could affect people's lives for probably the better. Like, let's say I was hiring somebody for a crazy good job that paid very well, or I was a businessman and I was about to sign an incredibly lucrative deal with XYZ. We were both about to make a ton of money, and I saw them out and about blatantly disregarding mask mandates, being obnoxious about it, saying they're not going to get vaccinated. That to me shows so much of your character where I would back out of that deal. That to me shows that you are so self-centered, that you only care about yourself, that you won't do the small menial things to show that you actually want society to progress forward. That shows to me that you don't care about myself or my safety, let alone your own. I would back out of that deal. And if they said why, I would bring up those exact points. I would say because you did not do the bare minimum required to actually show that you care about your fellow human being. Every time I go out in public, even to this day where the mask mandate is lifted and I see people not wearing their masks, I just sit there and I'm like, that is a huge mark on your character in my eyes. Sure, that's a bit dramatic for me. That makes me sound, oh, holier than thou art. That makes me sound like I think I'm better than other people. I don't think I'm any better than other people. I'm an asshole. I'm self-centered. There are plenty of things that I can be called out on that I do that are just awful for other people. I get it. I'll admit that. It's just, okay. He who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. I get it. I have no right to complain about this and call people out. But I feel like there is a fundamental difference between, he who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. That passage in the Bible was talking about a lady, an adulterer. Why can I not remember it's one of the most popular, most quoted Bible passages. Anyway, this is, I feel like, so much different because this is just showing goodwill towards people. Like, it's different calling out somebody about making a mistake or slipping up or being less than perfect and committing a sin and just having a low point. People that don't wear masks are doing the exact opposite. They're being pompous. They're visibly showing that they care about themselves more. It's a self-centeredness. And that is what I'm calling out. I'm calling out that self-centeredness where it's like, hey, I don't care about your safety or my own. I'm not wearing this mask, even though there's a mandate. And even after this mandate, where the science has so thoroughly proven that it'll just reduce the risk. And going forward, I'm going to be more of a mask wearer. I just keeping my sickness to myself, keeping other sicknesses from getting to me, for sure. Like, the words I want to call people that wouldn't wear their mask, just harsh words. I wanted to go up to people and be like, you are a self-centered, insert very harsh word here that I'm not going to say on the air because it's a word that, I don't like when people say it. To me, it hits. It hits. It's a harsh word that I want to call people. And it's not the F word, if you're thinking that. But this was something, COVID, and it still is something that we need to work together to overcome. Polio, smallpox, Spanish flu, Spanish fever. I forgot what exactly that one was called, but it was Spanish something. Even though calling it Spanish was very technically incorrect, because I don't think it originated in Spain. I forgot why it was called Spanish flu or Spanish fever. I could Google it and check. I don't want to. It's like calling the virus the China virus. That's so misunderstanding what it is. And that's another thing. If you say the words China virus, not ironically, if you legitimately call it the China virus because you're like, oh, yep, it's the damn Chinese. That's another thing where I'm like, you are a dumbass. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm overreacting about all this. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep last night. I'm just frustrated and I'm upset. Maybe I'm way overstepping my bounds getting this mad about it. I don't care because lives were lost when they didn't need to be. and the misinformation that's been spread, and this whole set of people that adamantly went against any safety protocol, harming others. I am the type of guy where I don't care what you do so long as you're not hurting another person. And people not wearing masks in a pandemic like this were those people that were potentially hurting other people. It's like the easiest of tasks they couldn't do. It's frustrating. I want the economy to open back up too. I want businesses to open back up too. I want my life to return to normal, and we could have had that a long time ago had everybody just buckled up and did their shit. The reason it's been drug out for so long is because we had so many people that just wouldn't do the things they needed to do. And I wasn't perfect at it. I was probably hanging out with my friends a little before I should have been hanging out with my friends. There were like 10 friends and my family were like the only people I've seen in this year. I haven't been into the office at all, except for once in December when my internet went down and I had meetings I had to get into. So I went into the office. I was like the only one in my department there. It was like completely empty. And then another time we had a social distance team lunch activity like a month ago. We were all wearing masks, team lunch. I wasn't like staying 100% quarantine. Like I went to Smith's and I went shopping, but I wore my mask the whole time over my nose and my mouth, might I add. And now we have this vaccine that can get us out of it. We have 3, 5, somewhere between there. And people aren't going to get it. Family members aren't going to get it. Like, I am related to people. Most of the people I know of are through marriage. Like, some of my wife's cousins that are anti-mask, anti-vax. And I'm sitting here like, you think you and this small group of people nobody's heard of have cracked some secret code against a whole entire body of science? Get out of here. I'm hopeful for the future because I do believe there are enough of us that are going to get vaccinated where, unfortunately, the asshats that made this way more difficult are going to be okay too. I'm not saying everybody that was against it, like against masks or against vaccines, should like get the virus. That'd be awful. I don't want anybody else to get this virus. I don't. But we all need to work together to make that happen. Because when your inability to act properly affects me and my family, and again, I've been incredibly lucky where me and my family haven't been terribly affected, but I have a son who is 2, who is not old enough to get this vaccine, and if he gets the virus, it isn't super harmful against young children. I had a friend, her brand new baby girl, like a couple days after birth, got COVID, survived, doing well. So grateful for that. But it's like, if my kid gets it, I'm going to be so pissed. Both my parents are fully vaccinated. Mike and Nancy Tebbs for the win. Get your vaccine. Get vaccinated. Don't be a dumbass. If you are able-bodied and can get a vaccine, you owe it to the people that are in an unfortunate circumstance. Maybe they're immunocompromised and they can't get a vaccine. You owe it to them to get vaccinated so your immunity can help protect them. Half the reason you get vaccinated is for yourself. The other half is for the people around you and showing that you care about them. There are 2 great commandments in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and really any Christian church. Moses comes down, I have the 10 commandments, or, if you have, I think it's the history of the world. No, what's that movie? Anyways, I have the 15 commandments and drops a tablet and he's like, I have the 10 commandments. One of the funniest lines in movie history, but actually, I looked it up. What I'm about to say is not part of the 10 commandments, but in the Mormon church, they say the 2 great commandments are, first, love thy God. And I get it. Not everybody believes in the same God. A lot of people don't believe in a God at all. So I am willing to look past that for a majority of the world, right? If you don't believe in the God, like, I get it. If you can't love something you don't believe in. Whatever. The second one, I don't care if you're religious or not, is love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. The world would be so much better place if we could just do that. And here I am. I'm sitting and yelling and bitching and moaning about a bunch of people that, didn't do what I thought was right, what I believe is right. You could say at this time, I'm not loving my neighbor. I could say what I need to say, get my point across much more gracefully. I could say it in a way like, hey, for your safety and for mine, because I love you, here is what I truly think will make us more safe. And we can get back to a normal life that we remember. And less people will die, and less people will be sick, and we can come together in wonderful times. I could have said it like that and saved a whole huge rant. So many of our problems are just because we don't love the person next to us. And I think this is just a key thing where it's like we had a global pandemic that we all needed to work together to get over. And there were just some people that weren't going to cooperate. And to me, it's like, hey, I'm trying to show that I love you enough to minorly inconvenience myself by putting a cloth over my face. Can you just do the same for me? I can get over you not loving me. What I'm not going to get over is the people that just so blatantly, abhorrently, that's probably the wrong word in this circumstance, just blatantly disregard and disrespect the proven science behind keeping themselves and others safe. That's what I'm mad at. I don't care if somebody's like, hey, Jason, I don't love you enough to inconvenience myself a tiny, tiny bit to make you a little safer. Like, okay, I can get over you not loving me. But when you go to the whole world and say burn masks, don't get the vaccine, I'm not going to get over that. This has been Teb Socks, the premier useless podcast, the super ranty podcast. Go ahead, like, favorite, share, follow, rate the podcast, whatever you do on your respective platform. Check out my website, jasontebs.com. Follow me on Twitter, pummelhead. YouTube, pummelhead. Twitch, pummelhead. Thanks for listening to me rant for like 30 minutes. I'll catch you next time on the next episode. Peace out.